Now.
He friended me on Facebook.
Facebook status. Getting on Facebook. Getting on Twitter.
A show helping to expose the power of social media.
You can go on Facebook.
Say you write on Facebook. On Facebook.
This is the Tanya Hall Show.
My Facebook account was deleted by the man.
Now, here's Tanya Hall.
Welcome to the Tanya Hall Show, where we embrace the power of social media, everything that's happening on the World Wide Web, and how the internet is changing our lives. Well, today we've got a slew of guests. We're going to do something a little different. We've got a lot of 5-minute interviews, and I have a co-host today with me, my arch nemesis on social media, but also a good friend and a really smart guy, Olivier Blanchard. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tanya. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Olivier, you and I are, I say this in kind of a fun way, but we don't always agree on most topics outside of digital marketing. But on digital marketing is where we finally come to the middle, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We haven't discussed, like, sports or anything. But, yeah, politically, yeah, we tend to be on the opposite end of the tennis net, as they say, or don't.
As they say. You have your own agency, and you've been in the space for a while. And we've had you on the show many times, and I'm always happy to have you back. We've got an interesting lineup. Our first guest that Olivia and I are going to talk to is Jeff Cutler. Jeff also has been on the show many times. Welcome, Jeff, to the show.
Thanks. It's great to be here, Tanya. And I don't know where I fall politically, probably somewhere right between you two.
Yeah, you're pretty good at not. You can kind of can talk both sides. Olivier, on the other hand, not so much, right, Olivier?
Well, it depends what country I'm in. So I'm kind of like right of center in France, but I'm left of center
I think
in the United States.
The whole world is right of center in France.
Yeah. No, actually, that's not exactly true. But no, it's relative to whoever I'm talking to, I guess.
So, Olivier and I were talking before the show got started. One of the big conversations that's happening right now is in your area of expertise. It's some information being passed around on Facebook and Twitter, and it's about a very serious topic, actually, and it is about the rape case of these teenage high school boys who went to trial, and CNN did some coverage. And 10 years ago, if one of the media outlets covered something and they did a job that we didn't approve of, we wouldn't necessarily know about it. But today, this stuff gets shared. What do you think, Olivier? I mean, CNN covered this, and they seem to take up for, instead of the victim, for the boys, and it's being shared all over social media. What would you ask Jeff about that?
Well, my question for him would probably be, what happened? Journalism used to be kind of a competent field of ardent professionals, and now it seems to have shifted into this kind of weird news entertainment where I don't know, like, okay, fine, whatever. The question is, what happened? Like, how do we get to a point where journalists on television take the side of rapists, convicted rapists, instead of the side of the victim?
I think it's hard to point a finger somewhere. I'm not going to go into the case itself, but talking about journalists covering any sort of news these days, I think there's a misunderstanding of the profession itself, because we're running into a world now where everyone feels like they can be the journalist. I can be a citizen journalist just by running around with a flip cam and covering some news, and everyone has an opinion. And I think the danger has become that news outlets, established news outlets, be it CNN or the New York Times or Washington Post or anyone that's out there, wants to be first with a story and wants to differentiate themselves. I do not think that CNN had planned to differentiate themselves in such a manner by having their anchors cover this. But I think that, or cover it in the way they did or make the comments that they did. But I do think, and I sent a Pointer article link to Tanya, and if you can if you want to share that, that's fine. I'll tweet it out as well from my @JeffCutler account on Twitter. What Poynter is saying is that we shouldn't rally against CNN for the coverage, because that's a waste of time. What we should have is a bigger conversation about the incident itself and about topics like rape and topics like murder and other topics that demand everyone's attention. I know I'm not really answering your question, Olivier, about what happened to journalists, but right now I think we're the same as anyone else. We do have opinions, and I think the anchors let themselves slip into, okay, how can we make this story more impactful and make people take note of it? And what they did was try to portray the criminals, as it were, as the sympathetic people out there and say, okay, well, they've lost their ability to play sports and this could ruin the rest of their lives, without balancing it and saying, well, this poor woman has the rest of her life ruined as well. Some of the points made in the Poynter article say, well, there are innumerable people who go through rape that bounce back from that and live perfectly normal lives afterwards. So go ahead.
Well, but even there's, you talk about, and we're almost out of time, but there's another article that came out, a study that came out that said, journalism is suffering because of all of the newspaper layoffs, but then you have, or traditional media outlet layoffs, but then you have this kind of reporting. What's more important, the voice of the citizen, the blogger, or the traditional media? I mean, we're seeing an outcry here.
I think it depends on the audience. It's a buyer beware and a whole situation where someone who wants to get the news has to decide where the most credible source is. And right now, CNN has misstepped in the eyes of a lot of its viewers. So the audience has to decide, I think.
Well, it's a very controversial topic. We're certainly not going to have time to debate it here on the show today. Thanks for calling in. And thank you. I appreciate that. Everybody follow Jeff Cutler. Thanks, Jeff, for calling into the show. We'll catch up later.
Bye. Nice meeting you, Olivia.
Hey, nice to talk to you.
That was Jeff Cutler. He's always our go-to guy when it comes to journalism. We're going to take a really quick time out. We've got lots of guests coming up, including Daniel Baldwin. We've got Mike Schneider Mike, Aaron Strout, Augie Ray, and that's right, Grumpy Cat. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
KRCN has a brand new website. Now you can go to KRCN1060thebiz.com. KRCN1060thebiz.com. It's new, cutting edge, not cluttered. Go to KRCN1060thebiz.com and listen live. Find show podcast. Come check out all the new interactive features. KRCN1060thebiz.com. And coming soon, the KRCN 1060 The Biz store with incredible values and savings.
Hello, this is Dr. Chad Mothy from the Alpine Clinic of Chiropractic here in Longmont. If you or someone you know suffers from headaches, neck pain, low back pain, or sciatica, which is that raging pain down the back of your leg, chiropractic and spinal decompression might be able to help. 303-651-1810 is our number. Give us a phone call, see if we can help you today, or stop by at 117 South Sunset here in Longmont. We're next to Trans. Again, this is Dr. Chad Mothy at the Alpine Clinic of Chiropractic, 303-651-1810.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com, and I am back on here in Denver, right here on 1060 The Biz. I'll be telling you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. I'm going to tell you when they give you bad information, when they give you fake job numbers, when they give you fake unemployment rates, and I will hold their feet to the fire. Now, that's right here every weekday at 1 p.m. Don't miss it. That's philsgang.com, 1 p.m. every weekday. I am back again. Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Don't miss it.
Drivers, think before you drink and get behind the wheel this season. Always pass the keys to a safe and sober driver. It could save a life. This message courtesy of the Lawn Barber of Evans, serving us since 1999 with pride and years of experience. For all your lawn maintenance needs this spring, aerating, power raking, fertilizing, and sprinkler startups, even all of your spring cleaning needs. Call the Lawn Barber today, 970-330-5296. That's 970-330-5296.
Hi, I'm Jan Elliott for Snow Country, and this brought to you by the Mountain Eye Journals, Colorado's fastest growing network of local news sites, providing insightful news from Colorado's most unique and vibrant areas. The Mountain Eye Journals, it's where to go. More at mountainijournals.com. Springtime events, springtime deals, but we still have powder and pack powder and more snow in the forecast. We're loving it at Vail, where they have over 190 open runs. Powder and pack powder conditions started the week off with about 4 to 5 inches of new snow, and it looks like more on tap as we get through the week. Beaver Creek skiing and all with over 2,300 acres of terrain, powder and pack powder, and picked up over half a foot of snow in the last few days. Keystone's got 119 open runs, also powder and pack powder there. Ski Cooper with all 26 trails open, about 4 to 5 inches of new snow this week. Aspen Highlands in the mix started the week off with 4 inches of new snow, and they're skiing 124 runs, expecting to see more snow as we close out the week at Aspen Highlands. This Snow Country Ski Report is heard every hour here on AM 1060 The Biz.
Taking a look at temperature conditions in Fort Collins, Colorado, where it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 4 degrees Celsius.
Josie's on a vacation far away. Come around and talk it over. So many things that I want to say. You know I like my girls a little bit older. I just want to use your love tonight.
Welcome back to the Tanya Hall Show, where we embrace the power of social media, social business, internet marketing, and so much more. My co-host today, Olivier Blanchard. Thank you again, Olivier, for joining me on this, my birthday. I appreciate it.
Happy 21st.
Well, there's our guest, Schneider Mike Schneider. Hey, welcome to the show. I haven't talked to you since you've started this new gig.
Yeah, I know. It's been crazy and fun and awesome to join a startup. And I want you to know, Tanya, that I'm secretly a Baldwin brother, so it's great that you have my brother coming on later. And my other brother Aaron as well. Mother? Yeah, he's a Baldwin brother too. You didn't know that.
Daniel's a cool guy. I don't know if you follow him on social media, but he's really engaged, and he's definitely had a really public life out there. But you're out there too. I mean, you hold no bars. You always put everything out that you're doing on social media. You've got your family out there, which I love. You're just a really engaging person using the web. But I haven't seen you that active, or at least as active, since you've got this new role. So tell us, where did you land? I mean, what are you doing now?
I'm at a company called Team Up, soon to be named Lagoa. My first act of CMO terror was to tell them that they needed to change the name of the company, so we're doing that. And we're making 3D software that people can use in the cloud. It's awesome. It's changing the whole way that people design.
The whole way people design. What do you mean by that?
So the current way that you design is somebody has Photoshop or 3D Max or something like that, and you have software on your desktop, and you have a nasty machine that's really powerful. And if you want to collaborate with people, you export files and you email them and you get comments and then you make changes. But in our software, you just subscribe to the service, and then you can start working. And if you want to work with people on the same scene, we call them scenes, the same 3D scene, like applying materials or making any changes that you want to make, you can do it in real time. It's really awesome.
Olivier, had you met Mike before? He's been on the agency side of the business for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with the name, but I'm actually kind of really intrigued by this because I used to be in product development. So how does this sit against an AutoCAD or something like that?
Yeah, so right now we're a complementary service to an AutoCAD, like a 3D S Max or something along those lines, where you build your models and you can export a model and you can bring it into our software where you can do the rendering. So you can apply the materials and make it look beautiful. And so you see all these car ads that are out there right now, right? And none of them are real cars. It's all renderings, artist renderings. And the problem with rendering right now is it takes a really long time to do a render. And it's also a big pain in the butt to get it approved, because let's say you have this really complex rendering that you need to do, and it's going to take you 12 hours to get it done the way you want. In our software, it takes minutes or seconds to see a result. It takes a lot of the hassle of 3D design away and gives people time to create.
This is a lot of inside baseball for probably a lot of our listeners, and even me to some level. But, you went from, and I think Olivia can appreciate this because you just said that your agency aside now, you've been on the other side. You've worked in an agency for quite some time, an agency that I really like, Allen & Gerritsen. You decided to make a change and go to a completely different side of the business. How has that change been for you? What was maybe something that surprised you about leaving one side and going to another?
Biggest change is that everything happens now. So if we get an idea, we want to do it now. And in the agency side, you have to wait for client approvals before you do something. So you can have a great idea, and it might never see the light of day. But if you have one in a startup, you do it if you have the resources. So there's a lot of scarcity involved in resources. So you have to decide what the right thing to do is and go out and test. But we do a lot of test and learn. And if you go to our Facebook page, which is still called Team Up right now, it's being changed over to Lagoa, you can see that we're experimenting with content. So, we're going to use a lot of social media to engage the community. It's a product about design, so it's really awesome because designers are in social media and they want to talk and they love content. So we created something called Behind the Scenes, where we have artists that work for us that are working on the product and making cool scenes like lofts or cars or engine parts or whatnot to target certain kinds of users. And so that's a process, and we're showing people what the process looks like, and people have responded to that. It's really cool.
So now you're the chief marketing officer, so you're head of marketing. Was that a scary decision, decide to lead this tech startup and be the sole responsible person for the direction?
It wasn't scary. I've been in tech before, but obviously I've been in advertising for 7-8 years, and so going back to tech was a little bit scary, I suppose. It was it's a little bit different world now, but I've done advertising in the tech world too, so it's not so much different. But it's like it's just you put a different hat on, and you have to do a lot more, and you have to you're doing things that you wouldn't normally do. Usually you're doing CRM strategy, and now I'm putting emails together and stuff, and it's fun. I get to talk to users all the time, and I get to be very focused on the product. And I believe in this product, as you know, Tanya. For me, it's the kind of thing where you're used to somebody with intellectual ADD who is into a little bit of everything, and now I found this one thing that I think is going to change the world, and now I want to tell everybody about it. So it doesn't mean that I still don't care about the other stuff. I'm still really into apps like Happier and I'm still really interested in the mood graph and how that's going to play out and all that kind of stuff, and fitness and things like that. But right now, 3D is my life.
3D is your life. Well, what questions do you have for our good friend Schneider Mike, Olivier?
Well, I'm actually the one of the big topics that I was focused on yesterday was Google Glass. Mm-hmm. And so there was this discussion going on between people, some of them being very pro Google Glass, and then others saying, well, it's really stupid. It's basically going to be like the face version of the Bluetooth earpiece, right? People walking around with their Google Glass. What's the point? And aside from, I think, the need for Ray-Ban and Oakley and other sunglass manufacturers to get into the game, people were asking, like, what's the value of this? Like, why would I need to carry this on my face and just, have a computer over my eye? But there are applications for, first responders. There's applications for athletes. There's a bunch of real-world, like, niche applications. And I'm wondering, listening to you talking about the speed with which you can render 3D shapes and maybe environments, if there's some kind of, conjunction point there between that type of technology and the work that you have.
Absolutely. It's going to be a long time before you get to that point. But if you could imagine being able to say, all right, let's take something that we're looking at in Google Glass. Let's say we're looking at a Ferrari, and then we render that, or we change that, we back that into becoming a model. We figure out what all the polygons are and all that kind of stuff, and then it goes gray, and you could see yourself applying whatever sort of look and feel you want to anything. So you think of it as our technology being able to help skin the world at some point. That's like a really long tail, that's a really long way off, but you could see that happening, and our technology would enable that because it's all in the cloud, and it's applying materials, and it's applying look and feel. we've got these scientists sitting over in Germany right now. We're a global company. Our headquarters are in Montreal, and we've got offices in Boston and Bonn. And the guys in all they do is think about how to make stuff look real and use physics to do it. Everything is physically based, which means we never cheat, which a lot of rendering tools cheat. So the thing that we're best at right now is hair. Nobody can do hair the way that we can do hair. It's amazing. So yeah, obviously you could say, all right, well, I'm going to give everybody blue hair today, and that could go through Google Glass, and it would be powered by our software.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
If everybody wore Google Glass, you could basically cure male pattern baldness in the cloud.
Exactly. That's what Legault is working toward today.
That's awesome.
Well, it's just very, very interesting technology. Robert Scoble said that he was going to potentially get LASIK surgery so that he could wear Google Glasses. And I'm a glasses girl. And Mike, you too. Would you actually get LASIK just to be able to do that?
Yeah, absolutely, Tanya. I've told you on other shows before that if there's something that's going to capture the things that I taste, and you want to augment my taste buds, sign me up. I'm the first one there. I'll be a cyborg before anybody. I'm all about augmented reality and augmented improvements and things of that nature.
Well, I can't wait to have you come back and talk more in depth about it. And I miss you. And thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, my pleasure. Happy birthday. Happy 21st. Don't get too annihilated.
I won't. Have a great day, Mike.
Talk to you soon.
That was Mike Schneider, everybody. That's at Schneider Mike on Twitter. He's a super interesting guy. You should follow him. My co-host, The Brand Builder on Twitter, and me, Tanya Hall Radio. We're going to take another really quick time out. We've got a lot of guests coming up. Again, we've got Grumpy Cat. We've got Aaron Strout, Augie Ray, Social Steve, and Daniel Baldwin. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Still a couple of things to watch out for as you head out across northern Colorado. We got an accident eastbound C470 near Broadway, seeing some bad stop-and-go speeds through that stretch. Then it looks like we got another crash. This one's going to be on eastbound I-70 on the ramp off to Peoria. Watch out for crews as they try and get that one cleaned up. Then off highways, we still have that structure fire, 14th and Welton. Watch out for emergency crews as they try and get that one put out. The rest of your highways are going to be jam-packed right now. Northbound I-25, stop-and-go from University all the way up to Alameda. Then southbound, that's a slow drive from the Lincoln Broadway exit all the way down to University. And then also southbound I-25 from about 120th all the way down to the Boulder Turnpike. That's a slow drive as you try and get in through that North Glen area. And eastbound I-270, stop and go between I-70 and Vasquez. The rest of your drive is going to be a busy one. This traffic report is brought to you by Garmin. Hey, traffic, don't be a hater. Get a Garmin Nuvi with subscription-free HD digital traffic and avoid it with updates as often as every 30 seconds. Drive with Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS. For more traffic information, go to sigalert.com. I'm Woody Lawrence with traffic.
Hate traffic? Don't hate. Drive happy. Get a Garmin Nuvi with subscription-free HD digital traffic and avoid traffic and construction delays with updates delivered as often as every 30 seconds. Drive with Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS.
Here is your updated weather report from the RCN Weather Center. This morning, Denver can expect some sunshine for a time here. A light southwest breeze all day. A nice one, too. The high warming up to almost 60. For your evening, increasing clouds and light winds, lows at 35. By tomorrow and Thursday, the wind's going to pick up. That's going to pull some moisture in, so late-day rain showers a slight possibility. Winds gusts as high as 25 miles per hour tomorrow. The high warming up to 55. Into your Friday, could see a stray snow shower through that to begin. Otherwise, it's clouds and sun for Friday. Your high cooling back down to 45. Saturday, some snow showers, cooler still. Front range weather is heard twice each hour here on AM 1060 The Biz, your trusted source for health and wealth information. I'm Dave Merce from the RCN Weather Center.
Brought to you by Conoco. Conoco is rewarding drivers who treat their cars right. Look out for their cash back, and you might find more than loose change in the backseat. Visit Conoco.com for more. Conoco, because your car knows.
What could you do with an extra $500, $1,000, or even $1,500 per month? How would that change things for you? Would you buy a new car, pay off bills, or just feel a bit more secure about your retirement? What if I told you there's a way to make your dreams a reality? I'm talking about trading and investing in the market. Now, before you say, oh, that's not for me, just hear me out. I want to invite you to a half-day trading course so you can check this out. I promise you, you'll go away smarter than when you came in. We here at Online Trading Academy sponsor this, and we'll even send you home with a free home study video guide. Your money's doing nothing for you in a CD or mutual fund. Learn how to profit when the market's up or down. Call us now while seats are still available at 303-325-2776. Use offer code Radio50. 303-325-2776. That's 303-325-2776.
When the mayor of New York City tells us how great Denver's new gun control laws will be, we should be skeptical. When Homeland Security buys 7,000 automatic rifles for itself, we should be curious why. And when Homeland Security buys more than 1 billion rounds of ammunition, 1 billion rounds in just the last 10 months, we should question their hypocrisy. We should demand to know what they're up to. Because a government arming itself to the hilt while passing more restrictive gun laws on its citizens should scare all of us. Our Second Amendment gives us the unwavering right to keep and bear arms. And it certainly doesn't give the mayor of New York City the right to decide what's best for our personal safety. I'm Laura Carno. I live here in Colorado, and I'm trying to do my part. Please help me keep this advertisement on the air by donating at IamCreatedEqual.com. That's IamCreatedEqual.com. Paid for by IamCreatedEqual.com.
Looking at temperature conditions around the region in Colorado Springs. It's 27 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 3 degrees Celsius.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. It's here we go. It's tricky to rock around. To rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. It's tricky. 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 It's tricky to rock around. To rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. 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 I met this little girlie. Her hair was kind of
Welcome back to the Tanya Hall Show, where we embrace the power of social media. Today with my co-host, Olivier Blanchard, my arch nemesis, except for in the social media and marketing space. He's a really smart guy. And Olivier, what's the name of your business again?
It's the Brand Builder Marketing. So I'm kind of like, in awe of that song, which I hadn't heard in a really long time. It's my favorite Bieber song.
In fact, that's why Kevin played it for me. He knows that. He knows I do a little dance every time I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, your producer always finds like the most amazing stuff to play. Like, it makes me laugh every time.
He's a rock star, and I don't know what I would do without him, quite candidly.
Do you know that today is National Ravioli Day?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, right? So what's the Ravioli Association doing to promote it?
Well, I looked around the interwebs for what the Ravioli Lobby is doing today to celebrate this August annual event, and I was really surprised. So I went to my de facto kind of source, which is the Boyardee, the Chef Boyardee Facebook page, and I was really surprised to see that they completely blew it off this year. Their latest post is about like taking a shower, and it's like with the hashtag Chef Don't Judge, but there's no mention of National Ravioli Day on the Chef Boyardee page. What's going on?
What a big miss.
Well, it's obviously there's a disconnect with the content strategy there. There's the message didn't get through. Somebody's not from the industry, and I'm really sad because now I don't know how to celebrate Ravioli Day.
I think we should go out and have some ravioli. Maybe we should make it. Maybe you should come over, hop a plane, and come on over to Colorado and help me make some homemade ravioli.
Yeah, let me do that.
Well, let's ask our next guest what he thinks. Augie Ray. Augie Ray is a social media icon, really. I mean, he's somebody certainly I've been working with and having on the show since he was at Forrester, and he's out in New York. And even during all of the Sandy weather drama, he joined us and gave us updates on what was happening. Augie, how's it going?
It's going well. Happy birthday, ma'am.
Thank you. So my co-host today, Olivier Blanchard, do you guys know each other?
We haven't
I don't
met.
think we've met. Hi, Olivia.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? So I've been introducing Olivier as my arch nemesis, but I would say that my other arch nemesis in some respects, Augie, is probably you. You and Olivier agree on a lot of issues, and where we all have a commonality is this idea of marketing and the social media space and what's happening with the evolution of the web. And Augie's a really smart brain. What Olivia and I were just talking about, Augie, is the fact that today is National Ravioli Day. And Olivier pointed out that Chef Boyardee, or no one's really talking about it. Is that a miss? I mean, do we pay too much attention to pop culture, or is that an opportunity for marketing?
Well, listen, first of all, Olivier sounds like a terrific human being. I like him already. Secondly, so here's the thing, is that I do think that if you're Chef Boyardee, you need to jump all over this day, and it shouldn't have been just a day. It should have been a lead-up to the day, and they should have positioned themselves as, the only person, the only brand to think about on this day. But the flip side of this, and you and I have chatted about this a lot, is that too many brands are doing exactly identical things. The fact that Chef Boyardee talks about taking a shower. Now, maybe you'd have to look long and hard to find another brand talking about taking a shower, but at the end of the day, all brands are saying a lot of inane things that they think are going to endear themselves to consumers. And on Facebook and on Twitter, consumers are tuning out. I mean, it's not why they want to follow brands. And so, we in the marketing side want to create these robust personalities, and we want to be likable, and we want to be funny. And what happens is that 1,000 brands doing that means that 1,000 brands are undifferentiated and haven't really said to themselves, what makes me different in the world from anyone else? Anyone can talk about taking a shower, but only Chef Boyardee, or at least only a few brands like Chef Boyardee, can talk about National Ravioli Day.
But does that make us actually buy the product? I mean, what would you say to that, Olivier?
Yeah, I think it does. Because, first of all, it's National Ravioli Day, which is a really important day on the calendar. It only comes once a year. So, no, but I mean, you don't want, all kidding aside, you don't want, if you're Boyardee, to become a clone of Oreo. Right? I mean, this is something that the Oreo team would have jumped on all day, all week. And by the way, I'll give credit where credit is due. The Boyardee team did mention that this is National Pasta Month, I think. So they did kind of touch on it a little bit. It's just they weren't really creative about it, and they did run with it. And the challenge there is to do something that's, in a way, similar, at least in spirit, and in the quality of execution as Oreo, without copying Oreo. And that's where your marketing department or your agency is either going to shine or, lose its contract next year, maybe.
Right. So I'll just extend on that by saying this, that it used to be that brands spoke to consumers about once a quarter, right? They do a press release that maybe wouldn't go anywhere. They do a campaign with new campaign stuff, and that would get rolled out through paid media means. But they only had one thing to say essentially, and infrequently. And now we've got the situation where every brand is being tasked with having an ongoing dialogue, saying multiple things a day in various social channels. And if we can talk all about the challenges, but we flip that around to get to your point, Tanya, about does it sell anything, and look at this from the consumer standpoint. Consumers just don't have the brain power to pay attention to what 1,000 brands are saying multiple times a day to create personality. And so I think it's incumbent on us and marketers is to find really unique things that separate us from the competition. And will it sell things? I think it will. But it will also create stronger brands. It will create greater advocacy. We will be remembered better. We will have higher purchase intent. And those are the things, not just likability, but differentiation in the minds of the consumer that we need to be focusing more on.
Well, you're always so brilliant, and I can't wait to talk more in depth about this. We actually have a couple of other guests that we have to get to, and somebody that you'd probably like, Augie, is Grumpy Cat's on hold, and we got to say goodbye to you to get to Grumpy Cat, because who better to promote marketing, right, than Grumpy Cat?
I'm being bumped by Grumpy Cat. Oh.
Grumpy Cat is on hold. We got to get to him, but you know what? I really appreciate you calling in. I miss you, Augie.
I miss you too. I'll look forward to the next time. Olivia, very nice to meet you, and I hope everybody has a great day, including Grumpy Cat.
Being bumped by Grumpy Cat, love it. That was Augie Ray, everybody. Olivier, I mean, he's a smart guy, right? I mean, he really does understand the space really well, and we'll have to have you both come on and we'll debate some topics in the future. Grumpy Cat, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show. Hi, higher purchase intent, and I mean, someone jam a razor blade in my ear, I was guaranteed 5 lids of catnip for doing the show, and no one's delivered it yet, man.
Well,
You know, and I want to straighten something out, these vicious rumors going on about me right now. You know, I'm grumpy because I'm a stoner. And I live next door to Tommy Chong, and the dude is always over here stealing my weed, man. You know? It's just not cool. It's just not cool, you know?
But Grumpy, look at all the notoriety you've been given. You got this great contract with Friskies. I saw that you were at South by Southwest. Doesn't this make you less grumpy that you can be such a part of pop culture today?
Yeah, you know, they lure me in with all these things, man. South by Southwest, they're telling me I'm going to be starring at some club on 6th Street. And it turns out that, you know, I'm trying to, you know, schlep them to buy some of this Friskies crap, which actually really isn't that good between you and I. It's not like we're on the radio or anything, you know what I mean? But, yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The kids dig it. They're getting a lot of attention. My oldest son, he's pulling up pussy left and right, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well, you know, I think you're a lot of fun. I love seeing your posts. I mean, where do you plan on taking your character in the future? I mean, do you plan on staying a part of pop culture once the meme is away? How do you reinvent yourself?
Well, you know, I mean, Clooney called me yesterday and he said, "Grumps, babe, you know, help me. I'm sliding." And I told him, "Georgie, look, babe, I don't know what I can do for you. It's 7 figures minimum," and he hung up the phone. So, you know, who knows where it's going to go and what's going to happen. But as long as, you know, we keep chawing off my property and I've got the nip and I've got, you know, the weed, I'm good.
I heard that there was some reality series that were talking with you about maybe coming on. I don't know. Kind of dispel the rumor. Is it Celebrity Apprentice? Is it The Bachelor? What's happening?
You know, my agents are handling lots of offers right now. I actually, Vivid called yesterday and asked me if I'd do a film called Pumpy Grumpy. And I told him, you know, man, it's just, you know, the career hasn't slid yet. You got to get a hold of me in a couple of years. But, yeah, I'm weighing out a lot of offers.
Oh my! Well, you know, I'm not surprised that the opportunities don't exist for you. You know, I want you to know I really appreciate you taking time to come out on the show and talk about it. I mean, we're all big fans, right, Olivia? You're a big fan of Grumpy Cat.
I'm a huge fan. Actually, I've switched over from Garfield to Grumpy Cat, and I've heard that a lot of people have done that, and I was wondering if you've gotten any like negative vibes from the Garfield camp at all, or are they calling you a traitor? What's going on with that?
Yeah, you know, it didn't make the press as big as it did with Kerrigan and Harding, but Garfield was out in the parking lot with a lead pipe the other day, and I smelled trouble with that.
Well, Grumpy, thanks for joining us on the show today. We got to go. I have to time out, but thanks for coming on, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, peace out, man.
Peace out. Peace out. We'll be right back. We're going to be right back with Daniel Baldwin. Stay tuned.
Hi friends, Scott Luther, the King of Gold and Silver. Join my protest against Wall Street and these big bankers who want to steal your hard-earned money. Don't let them.
Listen on KRCN 1060 The Biz, Monday through Friday, 11 to noon, for real talk with the King of Gold and Silver. Ride the Scott Luther Gold and Silver Express to financial freedom by buying silver.
Just buy silver. Turn $5K into $25K, $50K into $250,000.
Free portfolio management and free shipping. Call 888-551-2646 or go to lrccoins.com.
Small business owners, do you need a website presence for your business? 50 Plus Biz Sites offers turnkey solutions to meet your budget requirements. They offer their microsite with 1 or 2 web pages, their standard websites, or their custom website packages, all at very affordable prices. Call today, 303-694-5512, 303-694-5512.
Financial words of wisdom with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
If you're going to try to go take a weekend course and try to trade, you're going to commit financial suicide.
Trying to pick tops and bottoms can be hazardous to your wealth. Being out of the market is just as risky at times as being in the market. You don't realize that, you don't see that until you miss the opportunity.
It's financial food for thought on your drive home. Market Wrap with Mo Ansari.
Sunshine and blue skies are in your portfolio's future when you listen to Market Wrap weeknights 5 p.m. on 1060 The Biz. KRCN has a brand new website. Now you can go to krcn1060thebiz.com. krcn1060thebiz.com. It's new, cutting edge, not cluttered. Go to krcn1060thebiz.com and listen live. Find show podcast. Come check out all the new interactive features. krcn1060thebiz.com. And coming soon, the KRCN 1060 The Biz store with incredible values and savings.
Stocks are higher, snapping a three-day decline in the S&P 500 index. From Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York, I'm Charlie Pellet. Investors are awaiting the Federal Reserve's monetary policy decision, and euro area leaders are weighing options for Cyprus. Kit Jukes is head of FX research at Societe Generale.
I don't think that the EU can let Cyprus walk away from the euro until they've sorted out a lot more of the mess with Greece. In other words, the stakes there are high. I'm not sure that they can just let the Russians bail out Cyprus on their own in terms of a precedent. Although, Russians buying a Cypriot bank, perhaps Russians lending money in exchange for gas revenues, certainly better geopolitically than having a naval base in Cyprus, I guess, which brings the Americans, brings Air Force One over to Cyprus pretty quickly.
Dow Industrials up 67 points, a gain of 0.5%. S&P 500 index up 9 points, a gain of 0.6%. That's a Bloomberg Market Minute.
And now a check of the temperature at the Denver International Airport. It's 27 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 3 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to the Tanya Hall Show, where we embrace the power of social media, everything that's happening on the World Wide Web, and how the internet is changing our lives. Well, today we've had a slew of guests with my co-host, Olivier Blanchard. Thanks again for hanging in there with me this hour.
My pleasure.
In fact, we just talked to Grumpy Cat, but now we're joined by Daniel Baldwin. Welcome, Daniel, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on again, the fabulous Tanya show. Hey, isn't it your birthday?
It is my birthday.
Wow, happy birthday to you. 28.
That's right.
28 years old. That is so amazing. You don't look a day over 25.
Well, thank you so much, Daniel, and the same to you, my friend. The years have been very kind to you, and I have to say though, listening to your voice, you sound an awful lot like Grumpy Cat. Is that a coincidence?
I have made a lucrative living from my voice in the voiceover world. So I think Grumpy Cat listened to me and Alec and some others that have that raspy thing going on. And I was doing an impression of us, actually, is the way I think what's going on here. But, I just heard it said we're now going to give you the temperature at the Denver airport. The Denver airport is a very fascinating thing going on in the media and online right now. Now, is that the temperature in the tunnel system below, or is that the temperature above ground where people get on the planes?
That's an excellent question, and I'll put my meteorology hat on here. I'm a meteorologist. I don't know. But, maybe you should just come out here and test it out for yourself and hit the slopes. Do you ski? I can't remember if I asked you this. Are you a skier, Daniel?
I like to snowboard. I gave up skiing a long time ago with the advent of snowboarding. I find it far more fun.
Far more. You know what? It's a little sexier, I think. Snowboarding. I've actually got here in my studio. I've got 2 snowboards myself. So hey, Olivier, why don't we make this a social media event? And Olivier, you come out here as well.
Well, yeah, but I'm a skier though, so I don't know. I might have to leave you guys behind a little bit. I'm old school. I like the few.
Bro, did you just hear her say that it was sexier and she has 2 boards? Run with it, Olivier. Help me here.
I know. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm giving it a shot. Like I'm just going to be like the guy who still uses the old skis and keep you guys talking about like the whole sexy thing.
All right, listen, it was three of us going. Now you're down the mountain faster, which leaves me in the rear with the gear, baby. I'm okay with that.
In the rear with the gear. You know, you've done a lot of things. I think most recently I was watching you were on Hawaii Five-0. You were out in California filming, and they've done a really good job using social media, and they've done things where the audience could actually impact the end of the show. What do you think about this whole evolution of the audience interacting with content as it's being produced and actually having an impact on the film process?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up. I'm not privy to be able to talk about yet until we launch, but I have a very interesting idea that it's going to go, and we're going to test it in June. So when we're about to go, I will promise you this. I will break this phenomenal international new trend on your show. So be ready for an interactive film and television based idea that will go launch on the web June 1. And I will get into more detail as we get closer to the launch. But yes, I think that it is the wave right now. You know, I mean, it goes all the way back to Doritos and some of these people with the Super Bowl commercial ideas. And let's face it, this is what I always used to think about politics. Instead of electing an official and wondering whether or not they're going to get the things done that you want, and that can be very regional. It doesn't have to be statewide or nationwide. It doesn't work for everyone, these ideas. Why not have, town hall meetings once a month and find out on issues what it is they want in your area? What do they need? And do what you're supposed to do, which is serve the populace. Well, the same can be said of this, I mean, if people know what they want to see, if people have a good idea of how they want something to end, why not serve them that? This is them speaking to you of what they want to watch. So I think that I'm all for that. I'm all for that kind of input. In a place where I work, where they're remaking classic films over and over again because they wouldn't know a good idea if it crawled up their leg and bit them in the ass. Let's hear what the people want to see, and then you can make what they want to watch. I think it's a great idea.
You have been somebody that has been very open and honest using social media. Your life is exposed. I mean, a lot of us talk about privacy and we're a little bit guarded, but you've actually been pretty open with your life, not just on traditional media and television, but on social media as well. You wish everybody good morning. You talk about your faith, which is something that is difficult for a lot of people to talk about. How has that impacted you? Is that a positive experience for you, or do you feel like you're exposed in a negative way?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, I mean, obviously there's the side of me that, believes what I believe, and that's what I try to stay true to as much as I can. It was funny, a guy said to me recently, I won't name him, but he was a former Denver Bronco, and he said to me, I was up at the Joe Namath Celebrity Golf Tournament, and I'm tweeting that morning. We had to get up at like 5:30 or 6 to go to this golf course, and he looked at me and he said, "Are you on that Twitter thing?" And I looked at him, he's sitting next to me, and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, I really don't care what people think, and I don't care if they need to know what color I like, and I don't care." And he kind of was bashing it. And I looked at him and I said, "Well, that's funny." I go, "Have you ever looked at what I personally tweet?" I said, "Because the one constant in my tweets are, I'm up, good morning, everyone, and then I preach or profess some type of love for my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." Now, I knew this guy was a devout Christian, and I looked at him and I said, think about being able to create a conversation with thousands of people who follow you and create these conversations about God. Where else can you do that? Besides maybe social media, where you can instantaneously hit send and then within minutes create a conversation. And so I sent a tweet out yesterday, and the tweet was about Lindsay Lohan. And a place that I went to that I got sober, and a very good friend of mine has extended his hand to say, look, it's time that she gets in here and let me help her and so on. So I tweeted that. I said, it's time, for her, and I'm praying for her. And this girl who has followed me and had a lot of positive things to say said, somebody like that to go ahead and there's lots of other more important things in the world going on right now and blah, blah. So she makes some derogatory comment about my tweet, which started the conversation, which I love. And I said, well, that's neat because I think, God will be the one who will judge her. I said, that's not for me to do. I said, and furthermore, hang out at the country club with all the rich people. Jesus Christ was in the streets, and he was with the prostitutes and the thieves and the people that really needed to hear his word most. Imagine if this girl gets sober, and imagine if she can turn this around. The number of young women that she can affect. The response this woman gave to me was, I don't want someone, who is a proponent of being gay, being an example or a shining example. Again, a judgment on this girl, but more importantly was it enticed so many other comments from people, and it got people thinking about, gay and Jesus and drug addiction. And that's what I love about it, even more than Facebook. Twitter is fast. It starts it, it moves quickly, and I can see the effect of it, pro or con, in seconds. And I love that the power of being able to reach a worldwide audience on something on a daily basis. I really dig that.
I appreciate the fact that you are incredibly open and that you do use social media. I love connecting with you in the morning and wishing you a great day. And I thank you for coming on my show today. I think we need to have you on and talk more in depth about your big announcement when that happens. And thanks for taking time out for us this morning.
Well, as usual, thank you for having me on. I love listening to you, Tanya, and I love being your friend. So God bless you.
God bless you. Thanks a lot, Daniel. That was Daniel Baldwin. And I want to thank my co-host today, Olivier Blanchard. You were awesome, too. I appreciate it.
Hey, all I did was not say much, so I can do that all day.
No, that's exactly the opposite of what you normally do. We're going to have you back one-on-one to talk more digital marketing and politics. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.